Israel has exhibited a pattern of attacks in Syria since the eruption of the Gaza war last October. These attacks have often targeted warehouses, trucks, and airports. Israel's declared aim is to degrade Iran's transnational supply network for the Lebanese group Hezbollah. But there was one different attack, not only due to the individual in the crosshairs, but also because the building targeted was an Iranian diplomatic facility in Syria. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Mohammad Reza Zahedi, a veteran commander who led the IRGC Foreign Operations Wing, the Quds Force, in Syria and Lebanon, was there having a meeting. Therefore, the attack killed him and 6 others. The attack is directly challenging Iran's sovereignty. Iran has vowed retaliation for the Israeli attack. But the response is challenging to Iran, as the US seeking to deter them from launching a retaliatory attack on Israel. The American President Joe Biden has vowed that US commitment to defend Israel against Iran was ironclad, as concerns rose in Washington that a significant Iranian strike could happen within days. The United States has been faced with a dilemma following the Israeli attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria. How should the US defend Israel against Iran's potential attack, without it sparking a wider regional conflict in the Middle East? Analysts say that such escalation isn't in the interest of the United States. But how will Iran respond? The big question is, does Iran want to retaliate in a manner that is equivalent to the loss of Zahedi? Or does Tehran want the appearance of retaliation, sufficient to claim that it responded appropriately, but with a goal of avoiding an Israeli counter-response that could lead to a regional war? As it turns out, Tehran has a lot of options. First option: allies and power politics. A major player in Middle East politics, Iran generally has a powerful network of ideologically aligned allies and non-state groups, a network that styles itself as the Axis of Resistance. The Axis of Resistance include Iran, Syria, the Houthis of Yemen, the Palestinian Resistance, Hezbollah of Lebanon, and Shia militia factions like Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq. Retaliating at scale via Lebanon is another option. Iran has spent decades boosting Hezbollah's rocket and missile arsenal, equipping the group with sophisticated ballistic and cruise missiles and drones. Most of these precision weapons have not yet been used in the post-October conflict, but they are on hand for any decision to escalate. Major attacks from Lebanon would, however, mean playing one of Hezbollah's best cards early, and it would also run the risk of destabilizing an already dangerous and fragile situation on the Israel-Lebanon border. The idea has been to keep border violence at a controlled simmer since October 2023, as a way of drawing Israeli resources away from Gaza while incentivizing a conflict-averse US to put a leash on its belligerent Israeli ally. A major strike from Lebanon to burnish Iran's deterrence credentials does not seem compatible with that kind of high-stakes balancing. But failing to respond, or responding only through low-key proxy actions, does not seem like an option for Tehran either, given that it has publicly committed itself to avenging the consulate attack. Failing to live up to these public threats could make Iran seem weak in the eyes of friends and foes alike, potentially putting it at a disadvantage during regional unrest and signaling to Israel that continued escalation carries no cost.